Starmer is now widely held in Britain to be screwing the entire country. That's what concerns me. And he is in an improper relationship with the gay Bangladeshi billionaire Lord Ali. That improper relationship is a financial one. Keir Starmer has accepted utterly inappropriate gifts and financial support from Lord Ali in the first instance without declaring it. This is a matter...
It was the wrong thing to do, you plonker. And then he goes, it didn't cost the taxpayer a penny. Well, that's all right then. I mean, who on earth thinks it's OK to take money from a lord who's loaded in order to put your child in an apartment that he owns so that he can study peacefully? What influence does Lord Ali have on this government? I keep asking the question, I keep getting no answers. Let's talk to Dave. He's got a view.
Something is shifting in British politics, not through legislation or a vote, but through a speech that shook the establishment, centring on George Galloway, who has accused Prime Minister Keir Starmer of being entangled in a shadowy financial relationship with billionaire Lord Wahid Ali. This isn't about a single donation, but about lavish gifts, hidden perks, and alleged political favours never declared. And Downing Street has responded with nothing but silence. No denials, no explanations, leaving a rising tide of suspicion sweeping across Westminster.
Keir Starmer, this is for Gaza. You have paid and you will pay a high price for the role that you have played in enabling, encouraging, and covering for the catastrophe presently going on in occupied Palestine in the Gaza Strip.
Lord Ali is far more than a donor. He's a media operator, a policy influencer, and, according to reports, a quiet architect behind Labour's messaging, with reach across think tanks, digital platforms and grassroots groups that shape public opinion. And George Galloway's warning was stark. If Starmer is beholden to Ali, Britain's democracy is at risk, because no one voted for Lord Ali, yet he may be pulling the strings, and Starmer built his reputation on integrity and transparency. But if these financial ties run as deep as alleged, that image may be little more than branding, packaged, polished and bankrolled by the highest bidder. Galloway's accusations didn't fade, they erupted. Social media caught fire, journalists began digging, and even mainstream outlets are now demanding answers about Starmer's connection to Lord Wahid Ali.
Of fact, he delayed as long as he could, and then beyond that which was acceptable to the parliamentary authorities, the depth, and I mean real depth, of his financial relationship with Lord Ali. No British Prime Minister has ever allowed a billionaire to buy his clothes, buy his glasses, buy his wife's clothes, put him up in a multi-million-pound penthouse apartment in Soho in London. No British Prime Minister has ever had the kind of financial relationship with the billionaire Lord Ali that Keir...
Inside Labour, unrest is brewing, with MPs saying they were kept in the dark, some demanding answers while others quietly comb through communications and donation records, bracing for more damaging leaks. And what once seemed a fleeting controversy is now shaping into a full-blown crisis, with Starmer's silence only deepening the damage as each day without a response pours more fuel on the flames. And once seen as a symbol of unity and readiness, Labour now appears unsettled and uncertain. The issue has grown beyond influence. It's about trust, as voters aren't just wondering if something is wrong anymore, They're asking how far it goes, and in the absence of answers, suspicion is filling the void.
Breaking news for you, as if you thought the gravy train had hit the buffers. Well, it hasn't, ladies and gentlemen. More revelations from Keir Starmer. This morning he admits that he took £20,000 in donations from Lord Ali for accommodation for his 16-year-old son to study, in his words, peacefully for his GCSE exams. I presume this means that's part of the £20,000 that was racked up for using the apartment that Lord Ali has, £18 million apartment apparently in Covent Garden, a penthouse. Now previously they said they used that for meetings. Previously they said Keir Starmer worked there on the night of the election. Previously they said that this was a place that he used to use for planning meetings during the election campaign. Now he's saying it was for his son to study peacefully for his GCSEs. Well, I don't know how much peaceful studying he was doing while they're all having a party on election night. Really? Seriously? Starmer said, somebody offered me accommodation. Somebody? You mean Lord Ali offered me accommodation where we could do that, and I took it up, and it was the right thing to do. No.
In Covent Garden, a penthouse, first said to be used for meetings, then claimed as the place where Starmer worked on election night, later cast as the site for campaign planning sessions, and now apparently for his son to study quietly for his GCSEs. But how much studying could really happen while? The campaign team threw a party on election night. Really? Seriously? Starmer insists someone offered him accommodation. Yes, that someone being Lord Ali. And that he accepted it, calling it the right decision. But it wasn't. And the longer Starmer stays silent, the more his image fractures. Reform was his brand. But without accountability, it's beginning to look like nothing more than an illusion, carefully staged and marketed, and Galloway's challenge has cut deeper than expected, unearthing suspicion that Labour isn't truly being led, but stage managed, not in the public's interest, but for private gain. And this isn't the story Labour planned to be trapped in, but it's the one that has taken hold. And if Starmer continues dodging the truth, the fallout won't be gradual. It will be sudden, brutal, and unavoidable, as most scandals fade only after apologies or resignations. This one feels different, systemic even. It's not just about a single man or a single mistake, but about an entire political machine, rigged, fueled by secret donors, and steered by unseen hands across parties, with questions spreading. Who funds them? Who whispers in their ears? Who really pulls the strings? Starmer's silence is rapidly mutating into political self-destruction, as what began as a small fire snowballs into a nationwide awakening, and the image of calm, clean leadership has collapsed, replaced by something depressingly familiar: secrecy, moneyed donors, and the same old elite games. And what Galloway has exposed isn't wild conspiracy, it's a pattern: strategic donations, quiet influence, subtle media manipulation, with every thread, when pulled, leading back to the same place: a deep entanglement between Lord Ali and the very structure of Labour's operations. And the question now isn't whether Ali gave money, it's what he got in return: access, editorial control, a seat at the policy-making table. And if any of it was disclosed or carefully swept under the rug, and if these ties reach into the Prime Minister's office, as alleged, the consequences are immense, with every decision Starmer makes now filtered through suspicion, every speech, policy launch, and sudden pivot in Labour's platform scrutinised for signs of hidden influence. Because if a single unelected billionaire is shaping the direction of government, this isn't representative democracy anymore. It's theatre, with a script already bought and sold, and there's a reason this story refuses to fade. It strikes at the deepest public fear that their voices no longer matter, that elections are staged productions, not genuine choices, and that leaders answer not to the people, but to the power brokers signing checks in the shadows. with Galloway's speech dragging that fear into the light, tearing down the curtain on the entire performance and forcing the public to confront the question no leader wants to face. Who are you really working for? If Lord Ali's money paved the way to power, if his influence shaped campaign messages, policy outlines, and staffing decisions, then Starmer's government was never built for the people. It was constructed to serve one man's agenda. And what makes that so dangerous is how seamlessly it hides behind respectability, professionalism, moderation, with labels voters were told to trust now ringing hollow, because behind them may lurk the same elite interests speaking softly, dressed in sharper suits. And for Starmer, the political calculation seems simple. Say nothing, wait it out, let the news cycle move on. But that's a dangerous misread of public mood, as this is no longer just a Westminster scandal, it's national, with voters angry not only at what's been revealed, but at how it's being handled. The refusal to engage, the lack of transparency, the strategy of silence, creating a toxic mix that breeds suspicion and resentment, while even inside Labour frustration is boiling over. Backbench MPs are furious at being kept in the dark, with some now wondering if they've been used, mere faces for a movement that was never truly about the people it claimed to represent. And if that resentment spreads, Starmer won't just lose the public, he'll lose his party, as each day without answers erodes his authority, and what once looked like careful leadership now resembles evasion. And in a moment when the country is demanding clarity, evasion feels like guilt. Because silence doesn't shield you forever, it isolates you. And Starmer promised something better. Stability after chaos, reason over disorder. A clean slate for British politics, but that promise now hangs by a thread, as something has shifted in Britain.